When we think of the Muslim world in the medieval era, we often think of towering scholars, dazzling cities, and scientific brilliance. But beneath the architecture and astronomy was a mind built for military mastery. This is the story of how Islamic civilization not only fought wars, it thought about war, strategically, logically, scientifically. Warfare as a science, not just survival. In the early Islamic world, war wasn't seen as mere chaos. It was treated as a discipline to be studied. From the Rashidun and Umayyad caliphates to the Abbasids and Ottomans, military campaigns were planned with precision, calculated supply lines across vast deserts, tactical retreat strategies to lure enemies into trap, mathematical modeling of siege position, angles of attack, and time of assault, coordinated multi-front advances across enemy territory. Battlefield simulations using models and past war records. Battle wasn't just force, it was formula, it was philosophy in motion. The rise of Furusiyya, the martial curriculum. Islamic warriors weren't just trained to swing a sword, they were trained in the arts of horsemanship, archery, and military sciences through the discipline known as Furusiyya. Furusiyya was not just about physical strength, it was about the disciplined mind of a soldier. Books on Furusiyya covered training regimens for cavalry and infantry forces, veterinary science to care for war horses and camels, principles of scouting, supply planning, and battlefield etiquette, techniques for battlefield signals using flags and mirrors, ethics of war, how to treat prisoners, civilians, and surrendering foes. It was a military education system, centuries before West Point or Sandhurst. Engineering, the battlefield. Muslim engineers reshaped entire landscapes for strategic purposes. Siege engineers constructed rotating siege towers and battering rams, giant mangonels and traction trebuchets, tunnels to undermine enemy fortifications, water diversion systems to flood or deprive enemy cities defensively. They innovated with multi-layered city walls with hidden corridors, moats connected to canals and rivers, boiling oil ports and arrow slits for fort defense, hidden exits for surprise counterattacks. Cities like Samarra and Aleppo became testaments to military architecture designed with logic and foresight. If you're still watching this video, hit that subscribe button and join us as we uncover more lost strategies from the ancient world. Now back to the story. The commander as philosopher. Unlike many warlords of the medieval world, Muslim generals were often scholars, poets, or philosophers. Saladin, for instance, was not only a brilliant tactician, but a man of ethics, respected even by his crusader enemies. Khalid ibn al-Walid, the sword of Allah, never lost a battle, not just because of strength, but because of superior strategy and anticipation. Commanders studied Greek and Persian military manuals, Roman and Byzantine logistics models, Islamic jurisprudence on war ethics, jihad, ceasefire, surrender terms, geography and weather patterns for timing campaigns. They saw warfare as a branch of wisdom, not chaos, not rage, wisdom, logistics. The hidden weapon behind every successful Muslim army stood invisible systems that made victories possible. Muslim armies pioneered modular supply units with rotating stock, temporary field hospitals and mobile medical units, communication networks using horse relays, drums, and flag codes, quartermaster systems for rationing, pay, and arms maintenance, psychological preparation for soldiers through spiritual motivation and strategic storytelling. These logistical systems ensured that campaigns could last months, even years, across harsh terrain. Science on the battlefield. Science wasn't separated from warfare. It was embedded in every military decision. Astronomers calculated campaign timing based on lunar cycles and seasonal patterns. Mathematicians like al-Khwarizmi contributed to ballistic calculations. Chemists experimented with incendiary compounds for early explosive devices. Cartographers mapped enemy terrain with astounding accuracy. The integration of scholars and soldiers created a unique form of warfare, one that was intellectually driven. A mindset that outlived empires. Even after empires rose and fell, The military thinking of the Muslim world echoed on. During the Crusades, European knights were stunned by the strategic discipline and medical care within Muslim camps. Many innovations were translated into Latin and adopted across Europe. Ibn Khaldun later wrote in his Muqaddimah about the sociology of war, predicting that empires collapse not due to military defeat alone, but because of the erosion of discipline and strategic thinking. Legacy and lessons. Today, much of this legacy is forgotten. But in the manuscripts of Furusiyya, in the writings of al-Farabi, al-Kindi, and Ibn Khaldun, and in the ruins of fortresses from Morocco to India, we find traces of a civilization that did not treat war as a blunt instrument. It treated war as an art, as a science, as a responsibility. The military mind of the Muslim world reminds us that victory is not about chaos. It is about clarity. It is not about destruction. It is about disciplined thought. Thanks for watching.